Live from Suam Doddridge Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championship continues here on BN Sports with game number 2. Final game of the day, second-seeded UAB Blazers and the sixth-seeded Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders off and running on the first pitch as Summer Burgess grounds out to Natalie Irwin at shortstop. One gone. Hello, everyone. Sean Fox and Haley Pace here with you. Middle Tennessee already has 2 games under their belt, surviving not 1, but 2 games yesterday. The single elimination portion of the tournament to get here today. Double elimination starts today. UAB playing just their first game. They are the final team in this tournament to get their tournament underway. Precious Birdsong at the plate, shows bunt and takes the pitch low for ball number 1. Middle Tennessee riding the left arm of Corey Jennings, who we will see in the circle this afternoon. A 2-hit shutout in the opener, followed by a no-hitter in the nightcap to beat FIU, getting here this afternoon. Strike to Birdsong, hitting .358, 2 homers, 18 runs driven in. She is leading the club right now. She went 4 for 5 yesterday. 3 bunt singles, a triple, and a run scored. There you see the bunt there, fouled back to the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. With UAB, the second seed, they are the West Division champs coming in. And they were able to take 2 of 3 from Middle Tennessee in their regular season matchup. Late March, the 30th and 31st in Birmingham. Pop-up, first base side, foul territory. No play for Rachel Rogers. As Birdsong will dig back in, Kristen Usselton will follow. Morgan Harris, Lexi Cushing, and Claire Smith, 4, 5, and 6. Danny Munoz, Kirsten Cucci, and Keely McGee rounding things out. Same lineup here for head coach Jeff Breeden. Why not? It worked twice yesterday. Keep it rolling here today. Here's a chopper over to third off the glove of Ashton Clem. Birdsong is safe and on board yet again for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, definitely great hit right there by Precious Birdsong to get on top of the first inning. Just really able to put that ball hard into the ground and run it out for infield single.
We've talked about, if you've watched throughout the tournament, a hard clay surface here at Doddridge Stadium as you get a look at the Middle Tennessee batting order. Kristen Usselton coming to the plate. Error charge to Clem over there at third base. Usselton in from the right side. Talk about Claire Blount in the circle for UAB. Bunt here by Usselton. Throw to first by Blount is in time. A sacrifice gets the speedy Birdsong down into scoring position for Morgan Harris. Blount's coming in, making her 22nd start of the year, 37th appearance overall, 8-13 her record with a 3.16 ERA, 101 strikeouts in her 152 innings of work. Opponents hitting .257 against her. A pair of southpaws here in game 2, final game of the day. Morgan Harris standing in, .354 hitter. Chops one high over towards third, deep to short. Irwin's throw to first, not in time. There's the hard surface coming into play yet again. Runners are at the corners. Middle Tennessee doing what they did all day yesterday and trying to get ahead early.
Yeah, just a perfectly placed ball right here from Morgan Harris. Just deep enough in the hole and just high enough she's able to run it out. Puts runners on first and third. Great spot for Middle Tennessee to be in here in the top of the first.
Lexi Cushing to the plate, batting .350 with 14 homers, 47 runs driven in. First pitch, changeup is in for a strike. Middle Tennessee has all the momentum. They are the hottest team right now in this tournament, winning both games yesterday. They've got some momentum already in the bank built up. This is their 3rd game already. UAB may have some nerves to shake off. Here's a pitch upstairs for a ball. Hard bluff from Morgan Harris at first base. And it's just something UAB has to shake off. Just one game ago, literally an hour ago, FAU got nothing going through the first 5 innings, and then all of a sudden exploded for 7 to beat Louisiana Tech 7-4. Here's a pitch low and away, 2-1. UAB hitting .280 yesterday as a team. Cushing, however, struggling, just 1 for 7. Trying to give her Blue Raiders an early lead. There's an uppercut swing, swung on and missed, 2-2. Wind is continuing to blow out here at Daughtridge Stadium. More of the typical wind pattern here in Charlotte.
Yeah, definitely something Lexi Cushing would like to use to her favor right now.
Change up upstairs. Runner goes down to second. That's Harris sliding in with a stolen base. And now Cushing has a big spot, and this is what you want with one of your power hitters here at the plate. Full count, 3-2. 2 outs underway, top of the first. A 6-2 matchup. Payoff pitch, low and away, ball 4. Perfect example right here in this top of the first inning. Middle Tennessee, they're comfortable on this field. They've played twice yesterday, couple of wins, talking about building that confidence up. And now Claire Blount out there in the circle. Perhaps some nerves, as we would expect.
Right, Middle Tennessee here not looking like they've slowed down since their 2 games last night, really just trying to capitalize on the momentum that they have.
Here's Claire Smith, lines one down the third base line. That's a fair ball. 1 run's gonna score. Everybody moves up 60 feet. It's an RBI single, and the Blue Raiders quickly strike first here in the first. Middle Tennessee taking advantage of the air as Birdsong reaches. Here's a shot you see just inside the third base bag. Time called. We are going to have a couple of meetings out there in the circle. First-year head coach Amanda Ellis for the Blazers. Perhaps some nerves with the head coach, too, getting to the conference tournament in your first season.
Definitely, and that was just a really well-struck ball. Hard hit down the line. Really not a play that was able to be made there.
And this is exactly what Middle Tennessee wants to do. And if you're UAB, you've sat around for a couple of days. You watched all the action yesterday, watched a game today. We've played 5 games here before UAB is just now getting on the diamond.
Right.
And they are fully aware of what Corey Jennings has done inside the circle.
Definitely. I overheard some girls talking before the game that they actually, Jennings made 2 starts in those games that they played with Middle Tennessee this year. So definitely familiar with her pitching style.
Pitch downstairs to Danny Munoz for ball number 1. In her 2 starts yesterday, all Jennings gave up was 2 hits. That's it. No runs, 2 hits. The no-hitter against FIU, so already the climb uphill for UAB gets tougher right off the bat. Now you've got a 2-0 hitters count here to Munoz. Designated player hitting .278, 4 homers and 14 RBI. Winner moves on to face FAU in the winner's bracket final tomorrow. Here's a shot deep into left center field. That's going to short hop the wall. Rounding third is Smith. It's a bases clearing double. 4-0 Middle Tennessee. There is no team hotter than the Blue Raiders as we look at the replay.
Yeah, just a beautiful swing there, full extension on that, but she knows it off the bat. She's smiling, going all the way into second, no doubt there.
There is no hotter team right now than the Blue Raiders. I'd argue pretty strongly with you. There's no hotter team in the country right now with the way they've started this Conference USA tournament.
Definitely been very impressive here.
Kirsten Cucci comes in. First pitch is downstairs for ball number 1, and no sooner did Munoz slide into second base, an activity quickly beginning down that left field bullpen for the UAB Blazers. 1-0 here to Cucci. Popped up, shallow left, coming in. Caitlin Prater is there to make the catch and retire the side. But a perfect start for Middle Tennessee. 4 in the first. Corey Jennings back in the circle. Coming up. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, 4-0 Middle Tennessee before UAB can even come to the plate for the first time here this afternoon. Corey Jennings in the circle yesterday in a 1-0 victory over North Texas. 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and that was her worst performance of the day. A no-hitter later last night, striking out 4 more, defeating FIU as Destiny England starts off with a base hit to right. How about that? What a response for the Blazers here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, definitely what the Blazers want to see right here after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first. Great to start off the inning with a single.
Well, that's exactly what the Blazers need to do here. Jennings only threw 86 pitches in her first game yesterday. Threw the no-hitter on 72 pitches yesterday. Delivers a strike in to Natalie Irwin. Nothing in one. Annalise Petrie will follow. There you see it. 4 strikeouts. 1 walk came in the 7th. One of the Panthers reached on an error earlier in the day. Is this one a little check swing foul ball at the plate?
And I think also the 4 strikeouts is what's impressive to me, that really Corey Jennings is really depending on that defense to perform for her, and they really held up their end last night during that game.
Jennings had the softball on a string with the way that changeup was working last night. There you see it again, and it just misses outside for ball number 1.
Yeah, Corey Jennings is going to want that pitch if she's going to be as successful as she was last night. That's definitely one of her go-to pitches.
Irwin at the plate, hitting .336 on the year, 8 homers, 27 runs driven in. This one is smoked foul down the left field line. And we'll do it again here at 1-2. No signs of nerves from Destiny England opening up this first inning with the base hit. 1-2 pitch. We've got an illegal pitch called. First base umpire Rodney Smith making the illegal pitch call, which takes away the strikeout. He's explaining right now to Corey Jennings what happened. Jennings didn't make a mistake last night in an illegal pitch. Certainly wasn't one of them. Now a 2-2 pitch is on the way. Here's a shot to left. Line drive snagged by Keely McGee. Nice play by the Blue Raider left fielder. 1 gone. That ball was smoked by Irwin. And, of course, sitting and watching Middle Tennessee yesterday twice, the Blazers kind of know what the scouting report is. And as Irwin headed back to the dugout, she just had a quick chat with Annalise Petrie, now in the box, giving her some information as to what she just saw. Petrie goes after the first pitch and chops it foul.
I think Irwin, especially being another right-handed hitter, can give her a better insight as to what, Jennings is going to today, whether she worked inside or outside, or was able to work the changeup in there as well.
If you're sitting watching yesterday and knowing you're going to face her today, is that what you're looking for?
Oh, definitely. I think that, Jennings is really successful when she can work down and out, just like we see there on those right-handed hitters. Whenever the umpire is going to give her that outside corner, she's really been a lot more successful, especially just during the season as a whole.
A ball and a strike. Petrie hitting .311 in her junior season. 8 homers, 17 runs driven in. Here's a little liner over to short on 1 hop. Burgess up with it on to first. England was in motion, so that helped UAB stay out of the double play ball. But just what you want if you're Jennings. Second out up on the board.
Right, that's what we saw a lot of last night, was working that changeup in and just some weak ground balls, weak fly balls. That's definitely going to be the game plan here for Jennings today.
Rachel Rogers in her final season hitting .244 in the cleanup spot. First pitch low and away, taken for ball number 1. Troy Kuykendall is our home plate umpire. Rodney Smith is at first. Mike Hensley's at third. We had Troy Kuykendall behind the plate in game 1 yesterday. He was consistent, but he was not giving that low strike in the opener between Western Kentucky and Marshall.
Right, and as you can see Jennings kind of taking a longer walk back to the mound there. Might be a little frustrated that she's not getting that pitch called right now.
2-0 popped up at a play. But again, for Jennings, as well as she did yesterday. Completely new game, new day today. You've got to adjust to a different team in the box, and of course, you got to figure out the strike zone here over the first couple of innings and see what works for you.
Definitely, that's what you love and you hate about the game when you're having a good day and when you're having a bad day.
That love-hate relationship.
Exactly.
So there's a changeup. She got called a strike. 2-2. Now she's one strike away from getting out of the inning. A shutdown inning. All of them seem to be shutdown innings. They were yesterday for Jennings in her 14 innings of work. 2-2 changeup, liner into left center. That's going to get in for a base hit. That's going to score England. UAB responds. They get one of the runs back. That's the first run surrendered by Jennings. And it took 15 innings for somebody to do so here in Charlotte.
Here we see on the replay, it's just a changeup. Rogers really stays through the zone, just with her bat all the way through the zone on the change there. Is able to get that run in from second base. Great piece of hitting right there by Rachel Rogers.
A majority of Jennings' offerings yesterday were the changeup, so UAB knows that game plan coming in. First pitch here is outside to Claire Blount, the pitcher, with a chance to help herself out. 239 average, couple of homers, 13 runs driven in. Here's a chopper over towards first. Cushing will apply the tag. Blount retired, as are the Blazers here in the first, but a good response. One run, couple of hits, a runner left on base. 4-1 after one here in Charlotte. Welcome back here to Dottridge Stadium. 4-1 our score. A lot of action early on in the opening frame. We go to the second. Middle Tennessee will send Keely McGee to the plate, the number 9 hitter, and then we'll go right back to the top with Summer Burgess and Precious Birdsong. Good start for Middle Tennessee, but not 4 runs, but a good response for UAB just to get on the board, and at the very least kind of prove to themselves that, hey, we can hit Corey Jennings.
Right, that was really great for UAB to come out there and just chip away one run there in the first. There's a lot of game left, so to be able to go ahead and put one on the board was big.
Emily Catchell now inside the circle for UAB after Blount was kind of roughed up in that first inning. First pitch here to McGee, in for a strike. 0-1. Catchell, 13-13, making her 38th appearance of the year with a 2.84 ERA. Pitch here is upstairs for ball number 1. McGee on the year hitting .262 with a home run and 10 RBI. One, check swing, no go, says third base umpire Mike Hensley. 2 balls and a strike. Right now, both defenses get a huge break. And with the clouds building here in Charlotte, there's no sunshine, which wreaked havoc and ended up costing FAU a couple of runs earlier. Here's a bunt down the third base line. Barehanded grab, throw to first in time. What a play by Ashton Clem at third base, one gone.
You said it, what a play. She was able to barehand this ball, as we can see on the replay right here. Barehand just throws it right to first base and is able to get her out at first. That was a great play.
Top of the lineup, Summer Burgess coming to the plate. Middle Tennessee had a rough start to their night game last night. First pitch here to Burgess in her second at-bat. Up for a ball, 1-0. Burgess grounded out to Irwin at short back in the first. .372 average on the year. No homers, 16 runs driven in. Here's a strike on the outside corner. It's 1-1.
And with Burgess having 67 hits on the year, that's someone that Middle Tennessee really relies on to get on base. Her and Precious Birdsong are really the 1-2 punch here for the top of the lineup.
Both combined 8 for 12 in both games yesterday. Here's a slap to the left side that sneaks through, and that's exactly what's been going on at the top of this Middle Tennessee lineup. Base hit number 5 for Burgess. And here comes Precious Birdsong. Here's that 1-2 punch the Blue Raiders have.
Definitely, and both very dangerous on the base pass. 19 and 26 stolen bases for each of them on this season.
Plenty of speed with Burgess at first. Birdsong pops up her bunt attempt. Oh no, they're going to say a new rule in college softball. Birdsong out of the box when she made contact. She's out. That's out number 2. See if we can get a replay of that moving forward. And that's a big emphasis this year. Kristen Usselton will stand in. First pitch here is inside for ball number 1. Usselton with a sacrifice bunt back in the first inning. Helped get Birdsong in with that first of the 4 runs. Here's a ground ball to short. Irwin scoops, steps on the second base bag, and just like that, UAB dodges a potential bullet here in the second. 1 hit, 1 runner left on. Bottom of the second we go. 4-0 Middle Tennessee. Back here at Sue M. Dottridge Stadium in Charlotte, 4-1 our score. Blue Raiders on top. Blazers going to try and chip away as they started to there in the first inning. First pitch from Corey Jennings outside, maybe a little low as well for ball number 1. Sarah Crawford leading things off. Sarah Crawford, Molly Garcia, Ashton Clem to the plate. 1-0 is in for a strike, 1-1.
That's a great job by Corey Jennings, making a little adjustment there, just bringing the ball just a little more into the strike zone.
.268 average for the freshman Sarah Crawford. Couple of homers, 19 RBI. You could see right there she didn't want to do what she just did, but it's strike 2 nonetheless.
And as a batter, sometimes you're going up there with a game plan knowing that she's going to pitch you mostly away and comes inside. It just looks too good to watch it.
Here's a line shot towards the gap in left center. It's going to get past Birdsong. On her way to second is Sarah Crawford sliding in. It's a leadoff double here in the Blazers' second.
Big hit right there for Crawford. Jennings had made her look a little silly on swinging at that inside pitch right before, and so she went inside again, and Crawford was really able to take advantage that time.
We have seen a lot of softballs hit very hard, not only today, but yesterday as well over the course of the 4 games. UAB certainly not backing down as Molly Garcia stands in and takes a strike. Garcia, the senior, 26 hits on the year, struggling with just a 184 average. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Likely in the lineup for head coach Amanda Ellis today. She was 4 for 10 back in that March series at home against Middle Tennessee. Had a double and 3 RBI. Pitch outside there makes it 1-2. UAB hit 262 in that series victory. 3 one-run ball games, 3-2, 1-0, both in favor of the Blazers. Middle Tennessee got the finale 4-3. Change up there in the dirt.
And I think both teams, knowing the outcomes of the series that they played earlier in the season, they know that this is anybody's game really, and that both the teams are pretty evenly matched.
2-2 pitch fouled off at the plate. Garcia getting enough of it to stay alive. Yeah, you would think after a 4-run top of the first inning, very easy to slowly get back in it or get going, maybe take your time, or not get back in it at all for that matter.
Right, UAB does not seem phased by the 4 runs that Middle Tennessee was able to put up.
2-2 pitch just missed, full count 3-2. Jennings a little frustrated. She was obviously in a groove last night for 14 innings. And now she's been visibly upset at a couple of non-calls behind the plate. 3-2 is lined out of play off to the right. That's something Jennings will have to keep in check the best she can. She literally didn't have to worry about anything. No jams, no threats.
Right, definitely being tested a little more today than she was yesterday, to say the least.
Middle Tennessee making their first ever trip to the Conference USA softball tournament and won both games yesterday. That is a great 2-strike defensive swing right there by Garcia to stay alive.
Way to fight that ball off. And very thankful, I'm sure, that it found some ground back behind home plate.
She kind of started her swing, and as she did, you could kind of see her grin, almost smile like, oh no.
Right.
And then got a piece of it, and then the exhale that follows. Another 3-2 pitch. There's a ground ball over to short. Burgess up with it, on to first. Gets the first out on the board. Crawford moves down to third base. Ashton Clem to the plate with a chance to cut this Middle Tennessee lead in half.
Having hit off Corey Jennings, you can see the changeup flip out of her hand. She throws a really nice flip change, but that doesn't help your timing. That doesn't help you be able to hit the ball any better usually.
When you guys traveled to Middle Tennessee, it was rainy and nasty most of the weekend too, which certainly doesn't help a hitter out.
It was not the most beautiful weekend in Murfreesboro.
Here's a strike into Clem, 0-1. Clem in 41 games hitting just 136, 8 hits and 59 trips to the plate. 1 for 9 in that series back at the end of March. There's another one that just missed on the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, nice job by Morgan Harris to try to frame that ball. Looked like it just got a little bit too far inside on a right-handed batter there to be called a strike.
Maybe a hair up as well. 1-1 pitch, down and in. 2 balls and a strike. 5 runs, 7 hits combined already. And we have played only 10 outs here in this ball game. 2-1 there in for a strike. A little adversity for Corey Jennings here to start.
Definitely, you can really tell she's getting visibly aggravated by the pitch or by the umpire's strike zone, but it's something she's really just going to have to adjust to. She's not going to get that lower strike that she was used to getting last night.
2-2, fouled off at the plate. In that series against the Blazers back in March, Jennings went 1-1, 13 innings pitched, gave up 6 runs, 14 hits, a hit per inning, which is hard to kind of fathom right now with the way she pitched yesterday. A couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. UAB has the confidence. They remember what they did against her.
They do.
There's a swing and a miss by Clem. That's a big strikeout, her first of the day. 2 gone.
And softball, too, is a lot of about confidence going up against a pitcher. So if they know that they've had success off of Jennings in the past, that's definitely going to be something that they're going to use during this game.
So here comes Caitlin Prater in from the left side. First pitch she will see. Moving forward in a slap motion, taking a strike on the corner, 0-1. Prater, 196 average, 18 for 92 at the plate. This one fouled off. Quickly, 0-2, and just like that, Corey Jennings is 1 strike away from getting around the leadoff double by Sarah Crawford. Here comes the 0-2. Fouled off again.
And as you can see, Prater's just barely missing this ball, and that could be because Jennings is really throwing a hard drop ball. So as Prater's moving through the box, the pitch is changing zones as she's running through.
I always thought as a slapper, too, all that motion moving forward just makes it that much tougher to make contact. 0-2 changeup there. Fouled off at the plate just behind the dish there. Nice play by Harris to jump up behind the dish just in case.
Yeah, Prater just pokes that one foul just to stay alive here. And Harris is a catcher, too, that moves really well for her position. She doesn't do anything flashy. She's going to throw the runners out, and she's going to make the plays.
She's been fantastic behind the plate for Middle Tennessee so far. Another 0-2. Foul, third base side. We'll do it again. Harris behind the plate for both games yesterday for Jennings. And now an appeal. Troy Kuykendall asking Mike Hensley for some help on something right there. Not quite sure.
They were trying to see if Prater was really breaking her hands through the zone, seeing if it was a swing or a bunt, because if it was a bunt and a foul ball, she would have been out. There's
a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Corey Jennings. That's the most emotion we've seen from her leaving the circle. We've played 2. Blue Raiders still leading the Blazers 4-1. Welcome back here to Charlotte. We are set to go for the top of the third. Morgan Harris, Lexi Cushing, and Claire Smith to the plate. 4-5-6, part of the Middle Tennessee lineup. here against Emily Catchell. First pitch is popped straight up. First baseman Rachel Rogers making the catch. One pitch, one out. Good start for Catchell. Claire Blount started, went the first inning, gave up 4 unearned runs on 3 hits with a walk. First pitch here to Cushing, missing outside for ball number 1. Cushing with a walk and run scored back in that 4-run first. Middle Tennessee grabbed all of the momentum. The Blazers have gotten a good portion of it back. The pitch outside 2-0. Cushing on the year hitting .350. 14 homers, 47 RBI, a fantastic second season. Here's a strike, 2-1. And as we've said a couple of times, and Cushing in this group as well, she's still got a couple more years to make her way through Conference USA.
She does. I'm sure other Conference USA teams aren't as excited about it, but Middle Tennessee, I'm sure, is excited to have her back for 2 more years.
Here's a pitch downstairs, ball 3. That just missed. 3-1 now on Cushing. But on the flip side, this is Jennings' last year in the circle for Middle Tennessee, so I'm sure most of the conference will be happy about that. 3-1, change up, strike 2, 3-2. One down, top of the third. Most of our action, actually all of it, coming in that first inning. Rise ball fouled straight back. Close enough for Cushing to hack after it, get a piece of it, and stay alive. One down here in the third. Claire Smith to follow. Both teams scoring in the first, but neither of them cashing in on the second. There's the changeup again from Catchell.
A beautiful changeup right there for Catchell, and huge to go, 1-2 right here in this inning. Like to see them go 1-2-3, I'm sure, and come right back up to bat.
Claire Smith will come to the plate. No one has gone down in order through the first couple of innings here this afternoon. Smith had an RBI single just inside the third base bag back in the first inning. Got everything going for the Blue Raiders. Pushes a bunt towards third now. Clem's throw wild to first base. On her way to second is Smith. The throw from Crawford, not in time. Petrie had an issue squeezing it cleanly in the glove. I don't think it would have mattered. But a UAB error will keep the inning alive and put another runner in scoring position.
Yeah, great work right here by Smith just to keep that third baseman on her toes. You see she had to sprint in for that ball. Really wasn't expecting that bunt for a hit right there and was able to end up getting 2 bases out of it.
Boy, I said Smith safe, but that would have been a lot closer than it looked live had Petrie been able to hold on to the ball. Second error already by the Blazers. First pitch here to Danny Munoz in for a strike. Munoz had the big blow of the opening inning, a double to left center. A 3-run bases clearing double as this one's popped up out of play.
And you brought up the 2 errors already, and as a team they've made 92 errors on the season, so that's very high for a team, and so something that they're going to need really to hone in on during this game, because any mistake can cost them a couple runs.
Out of the 12 teams in Conference USA, they were there in the basement, 12th, with their .941 fielding percentage. Change up here, up and away. Taking for ball number 1. Time called. Molly Garcia, when she made that catch, when she popped up, not sure if she came down awkwardly on the ankle or perhaps a little cramp jumping up. It is hot and humid. Clouds are building. There are thunderstorms starting to build in the area west of us. But she'll quickly shake it off and get back to work. 1-2. Popped up, shallow left. Prater in and towards the line there to make the catch. and retire the side. So Catchell gets around the 2-out error. 1 runner left on. 2.5 complete. Blue Raiders 4, Blazers 1. You're watching the CUSA softball tournament on BN Sports. Welcome back to Charlotte. Beautiful look just outside Halton Arena here on the campus of UNC Charlotte. We're off to the bottom of the third. 4-1 Middle Tennessee. As the top of the Blazer lineup will stand in. Destiny England got things going back in the first inning. Base hit through the right side and scored the only run so far. First pitch changeup here upstairs for ball 1. With the cloud cover, the lights have kicked on here at Daughtridge Stadium. Breeze has been picking up throughout the day, still blowing straight out towards center. England, a .358 hitter on the year, taking a strike there, 1-1. England 3 for 10 back in the March series. 3 singles, couple of runs scored. Here's a changeup. She's out in front and fouls it off out of play. There into the stands off to the right. Irwin and Petrie to follow. In the dirt, 2-2.
Yeah, nice idea right there by Corey Jennings. She had just chased the other changeup, so going right there with 2 strikes, worth a shot for her to try to get a strikeout at that point.
Jennings got around the leadoff double by Sarah Crawford in the second. Back-to-back strikeouts helping her get out of that jam. Here's another slap up the middle. Destiny England 2 for 2.
Yeah, great job for Destiny England right there, just to use this hard ground like we talked about time and time again. But really, slappers are able to use that to their advantage, and Destiny England's a huge catalyst for this UAB offense.
Here comes Natalie Irwin, and we just mentioned last time England led off there in the first, she scored. Game plan here as Irwin stands in from the right side. First pitch is downstairs for ball number 1. England 8 of 17 in the stolen base department. She's got the 8, but she's also been thrown out 9 times. A less than stellar percentage right there in the stolen base category. Here's a pitch in the dirt, 2-0. Third hit of the day here for UAB. England has 2 of those 3. 2-0, there's the changeup right in at the belt. How hard is it to time up that changeup?
Corey Jennings, when we played in Middle Tennessee, she had about half our team's number with that changeup. She throws it consistently, and it's always in your head that the changeup might be coming, which also plays into the game mentally.
Here's the bunt. Miscommunication. Everybody is safe. A bunt single for Natalie Irwin. The Blazers are starting to cook something up here in the bottom of the third. Here's a look. Great bunt.
Right, and it looks like Irwin was just willing to put the sacrifice down for a team right there, and so being able to be on first base and safe is definitely a positive right there for UAB.
Gets rewarded with the base hit. Now Annalise Petrie to the plate. She represents the tying run. She grounded out to short back in the first. Takes a strike there on the outside corner.
And Petrie with only three sack hits on the year, wouldn't really expect to see that, especially with a 3-1 deficit at this point. But there we go.
And she pops it up. Oh, it's bobbled. That's a fair ball. Now some confusion. Everybody's safe yet again. Well, just when you mentioned 3 sacrifices, she does it.
Right, it's tournament time. Anything can happen.
She pops it up to Cushing, who just drops the ball. Now the bases are loaded. Nobody out. Head coach Jeff Breeden making his way out to the circle. A tough start for the Blue Raider defense here in this 3rd inning.
We can see Petrie just get right under that ball. And just a miscue by Lexi Cushing there. She looks like she's trying to pick off the runner at first before she even has the ball fully in her glove.
Almost looked like she ran in just a step too far as well. Maybe overran it by a hair. Well, that's the first error for Middle Tennessee. Still nobody out. Rachel Rogers, the cleanup hitter for UAB, coming up. She had an RBI single back in the first inning to get the Blazers on the board. There's that changeup. Just misses for ball number 1. Rogers, a .244 average, 6 homers, 37 runs driven in. Here's a bunt down the first baseline. Scoop and throw to the plate, not in time. Another bunt, single, RBI, 4-2 our score.
Really a very gutsy call there by Coach Ellis for bases loaded and have a bunt squeeze situation, because at that point all they need to do is get the forced play. But as you can see, clearly safe at home plate. Great play.
RBI for Rogers. Still nobody out. Tying runs are in scoring position now for Claire Blount. First pitch there, low and away for ball number 1. You can see Jennings, she's taking a lot of walks to the back part of that circle.
Yeah, that's a pitch Jennings wants, but she's just not getting this game.
Here's a slow roller towards second. Smith makes the play to first. A very productive at-bat for Blunt. She'll get an RBI, and just like that, we've got ourselves a 1-run ball game. Sarah Crawford will come to the plate.
Yeah, that ball was just slow enough. Smith didn't feel like she had to play at home plate, so just went for her out at first base. Smart play by Smith, and good execution by UAB.
Extra outs for UAB here in this 3rd inning. Here's a strike into Crawford. You had the dropped pop-up there by Cushing at first on the bunt. Miscommunication on the bunt by Rogers. And then Blount's ground out, getting the job done. This one will as well. Smith on to first, 4-4. We are tied.
Almost the exact same play.
UAB taking advantage of the Middle Tennessee mistakes. 3 runs have come across. The go-ahead run now 60 feet away gives Molly Garcia a chance to get in on the action. Garcia 0 for 1. She grounded out to Burgess at short back in the second. Check swing, the appeal, no go. Rodney Smith, first base umpire, saying no swing. I agree, looking at the swing from almost a similar angle down this line. Garcia, the senior in her final year. Low and away. Good eye there to take his count to 2-0.
And as you can see, Jennings keeps shaking out that arm. Might be starting to see some fatigue just from those 2 complete games she threw yesterday, and has already thrown a lot of pitches in these 3 innings.
2-0, ground ball snagged, fair territory, third base. That's Kristen Usselton making the play to retire the side. 3 runs come across, an error mixed in as well. We're off to the 4th. We'll chat with head coach Amanda Ellis of UAB when we come back. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, 4-4 our score. We go down to third base dugout, and first-year head coach Amanda Ellis. Coach, pretty good comeback right there in the 3rd inning to tie this thing up after a shaky start in the top of the 1st.
Yeah, and, that was a challenge to them, is just to kind of find ways to get on base and, take that momentum away from them, because we knew they were going to come in ready to play, and, we knew that we were going to have to bring all facets of the game, and, I just got to get them excited. We're back in this, so now we got to, play the defensive game and get back in here and find some more ways to score runs.
Coach, what do you like from Emily Catchell in the circle so far coming in here in relief?
Em does a really good job mixing spots, hitting spots, and kind of working all the way around the zone. I think she does a really good job just kind of putting the ball in the air, just working the defense. But overall, she's definitely, she attacks the zone, and, we like that about her.
Coach, thanks as always. Thanks for the time. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
First-year head coach Amanda Ellis of the UAB Blazers. We saw it last night. 3 runs in the inning. Lifts the spirits. A little bit of fun happening behind her in that third base dugout. We go to the 4th. Kirsten Cucci going to lead things off for Middle Tennessee. First pitch swinging, drilled deep into right center field. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. On her way to second is Cucci. She will stop there. A quick response. And just as UAB comes around and tries to deliver a knockout blow to tie things up, Cucci leads off with the double. Now we have to check on right fielder Sarah Crawford, who went down right there, as you see on the replay.
Yeah, just a down and inside pitch. Cucci was really just able to drive it into right center, but as you saw, Crawford down on the play. But thankfully, England was able to get there and get the ball back into the field of play.
Coach Ellis, along with the training staff here for UAB, going to go out and have a chat with her. Hopefully it's just something as simple as just maybe turning and pivoting one way, kind of where your foot gets stuck in the turf and you go the other way, kind of jogging it off down that right field line.
Right, thankfully she's running around. Looks like a positive sign.
Doing a couple of exercises. I'm not sure I could do that right now without cramping up myself. She looks good to me, but of course I leave this to the athletic training professionals. Certainly helps to have a smile on her face as well.
Definitely what you want to see here after she took a little fall there in the outfield.
11 hits combined now. Middle Tennessee with their 6th on Coochie's leadoff double. Trying to think quickly throughout other ball games here. 11 combined hits, certainly the most we've seen through the first 3 innings, and we're flirting right up there with the most we've seen combined in a single game so far.
Right, this has been a very offensively productive day. Really looking to see that all through these 7 innings.
Crawford okay, shaking it off, still with a smile out there in right field. Here comes Keely McGee. Likely a bunt situation. Thought about it. Takes it outside for ball number 1. Clem and Rogers crashing hard on the corners. McGee 0 for 1. She grounded out to Clem at third, back in the 2nd. Here's a shot into left. How about a base hit? That'll move the runner up and get yourself aboard. Runners at the corners, nobody out.
And really big right there for Middle Tennessee for their 8-9 batters to come and respond after giving up 3 runs the inning before. That's huge for Middle Tennessee. Definitely a momentum shift for them.
Well, it's got to help, too. As a lefty, you go up, you show bunt, you see the infield crashing in hard on you, and then you get a good pitch in the zone to hit, and you're able to slap it and hit it hard the other way.
Right, just trying to keep the defense off balance.
Let's see what Summer Burgess can do. She's 1 for 2 already in this game. She takes a pitch low and outside for ball number 1. That's a fantastic job by your 8-9 hitters, especially with the tournament Burgess and Birdsong in the on-deck circle have put together so far.
Yeah, definitely where Middle Tennessee wants to be right here.
There's a strike. Unable to check her swing is Burgess. McGee swipes second base in the process. So now a couple of go-ahead runs in scoring position. Burgess had a base hit to left back in the 2nd. Change up upstairs.
And I was going to say that swing through by Summer Burgess also might have been a protected steal type situation just to get McGee to second base.
Catchell, since coming in the 2nd inning, dodged a couple of bullets, but here in some trouble to start this 4th. Here's a chopper over to short, on to first by Irwin. In time. Nobody can go anywhere. Time called by first base umpire Rodney Smith. And the umpires are going to get together here.
I think he's trying to argue the first baseman's foot came off the bag with the higher throw.
Well, I was thinking something to do with maybe Rogers blocking the bag. We've seen some obstruction go a couple of different ways. Middle Tennessee was involved in one last night to start the 4th and final game that ended up in about a 10-minute protest situation. And the umpires ended up getting that situation called correctly. Here comes Precious Birdsong. First pitch is outside for ball number 1. I think Burgess is a little upset, too, that Coochie didn't break from the third base bag on that chopper with her slapping it straight down and getting that big hop off the surface.
Definitely. I think Coochie would have had a good shot at home just because of how high, like you said, how high that bounce was to Irwin at shortstop.
Low and away here for ball number 2. 4-4 in the 4th. Birdsong reached on an error and scored in the 1st. Called out on her bunt attempt back in the 2nd for being out of the box. Takes a strike here, 2-1.
I think it'll be interesting to see how Birdsong bounces back at this at bat after being called out of the box. She might be a little more timid to run through and be more aware of her footing.
That's a great point. Maybe a little slower in that motion up the box. Here's a line shot through the whole left side. Middle Tennessee gets the run right back on an RBI single from Precious Birdsong. Coochie scores. McGee down to 3rd. Still only 1 out now for Kristen Usselton. Boy, what a great piece of hitting there by Birdsong.
Was a great piece and really went with her harder slap there, and she's really just so good at all facets of the game. As you can see, she has multiple extra base hits, and also can put down that bunt single at any time.
Watch for her to take off. She's not wasting any time on the first pitch. Going without a throw. Another stolen base. That's her 27th of the year, her second here at the conference tournament. 1-0 bunt down the third base line. Smart play by Clem. Saw the spin, carrying that softball into foul territory and picking it up when it crossed that line.
Definitely seeing the squeeze play in full effect today during this game.
We've seen that a handful of times already in this softball tournament. A lot of strategy, of course, on a normal day, but tournament time, everything magnified that much more. 1-1 is upstairs, 2-1. We are in the double elimination portion of the tournament, so no matter win or loss, you'll get to turn around and play tomorrow. Certainly a win would help.
Yeah, that would be the easy way to go out, but obviously one of these teams.
Here's a bunt out in front of the plate. Everybody safe yet again. It's a 6-4 lead for Middle Tennessee. Another RBI with a bunt single. McGee scores. And we're just talking about the amount of bunts. It's one of those things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's exactly what Middle Tennessee is doing.
Exactly. I was just looking at Usselton has 12 sack bunts on the year, so feels very comfortable being able to turn around and is able to use that bunt as a squeeze play and able to get the runner in safely from third.
Perfect bunt just out in front of home plate, able to deaden that softball. A single for Usselton. Going to have a pinch runner over here at first base.
And I wouldn't be surprised here if we saw another play very similar, especially with Birdsong's speed on third base.
Brooke McClure coming out to run for Usselton. Here comes Harris to the plate. She gets hit right on the left elbow, right off of that protective guard. Fortunately, she did have it on, but she's aboard with the hit by pitch. Now they're loaded for Cushing. The team's leading hitter in home runs coming to the plate with one out and the bases loaded. I imagine as a hitter, you're kind of licking your chops when you come to the plate in this situation, aren't you?
Definitely. I think Morgan Harris, honestly, was a little aggravated that she got hit just because she is one of their leading RBI producers and really wanted a chance to pick her team up right there. But definitely trust her other teammates as well to get the job done.
First pitch upstairs to Cushing for ball one. She walked and scored in the first. Struck out swinging in the third. The 1-0, chopper foul, third base side. A ball and a strike. Whole lot of offense. If you like runs and hits, this is your ball game. 10 runs combined now on 14 combined hits. 3 errors combined as well to help out the offense. Here's a shot knocked down. What a play by Petrie. She'll backhand flip it to first. That saves at least one run. It does get another run in. It's a 7-4 lead for Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, that was a great grab by Petrie right there. Like you said, saved another run. And who knows, being able to come around and score from second base as well.
Here comes Claire Smith. RBI single and run scored in the first. Reached on an error back in the third. Goes out to the first pitch, grounds it over to short. Tag applied right there by Irwin as Harris was on her way to third. Middle Tennessee scores 3 runs on 4 hits here in the inning. What an inning put together here by the Blue Raiders. It all started with the double by Kirsten Cucci. A handful of bunts mixed in as well. A couple of productive outs with ground outs. A fielder's choice there for Smith. I want to welcome those just tuning in on the BN Sports Network. Our television broadcast joining us here after tennis. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Day 2 of the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championships here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Sean Fox here alongside Haley Pace. And this has been a wild ball game so far through 3.5 innings. 4 runs for Middle Tennessee. They jumped right on the board in the top of the 1st. Now let's head down to the field and have a chat with Middle Tennessee head coach Jeff Breeden. Coach, crazy way to start this ball game. You got 3 more runs there in the 4th inning. Your offense seems to be rolling pretty well right now.
Oh, this whole tournament's crazy. I mean, we got 2 good teams playing today, and you know, we got to do a better job playing defense. But offensively, we're okay right now.
What do you think of the performance so far by Corey Jennings after the success she had yesterday? And you're changing pitchers here, but what have you seen from Jennings here so far?
She's a battler. I mean, probably didn't have as good of stuff today as she had yesterday, but still had good stuff. And so, but Amber, who I just put in, Baldwin is a freshman, and we're confident in her skills as well.
Well, with the way this has played out back and forth, 7-4 here in the 4th inning, the goal to just keep the offense rolling and try to catch a break on defense?
Yeah, because it looks like it's going to take a bunch of runs to win this game. So try to play defense. Hopefully we can do a little better job on their short game and continue to get timely hits.
Coach, as always, thanks for the time. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
That's head coach Jeff Breeden in his 6th season here at the helm of Middle Tennessee. And he's exactly right. With offense, you never know what's going to happen. You've scored 7, and you just have that feeling where 7 runs just might not be enough here this afternoon.
Right, both teams scoring early and scoring often. It's really what you want to see for your own offense, but for both teams to be scoring as many runs as there, it's very impressive and really speaks a lot to these 2 offensive, being aggressive and being just ready to play today.
We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Ashton Clem, Caitlin Prater, and Destiny England, 8-9-1 coming up here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And something else we have to keep our mind on here is the first pitch is inside. Actually going to hit her there on the front left foot. She's going to head down to first base on the hit by pitch.
And that is not what you want to see from your pitcher coming in, first batter in relief, hit by pitch.
Amber Baldwin inside the circle. And before that first hit by pitch, the thought I was telling you about with something else we have to now keep our eye on is thunderstorms approaching the Charlotte area here just off to our west. And with the way this offensive ball game has been going, unless Mother Nature does something to get around the Charlotte area, boy, it'd be a tough way to get your offenses rolling. Pitchers and defense may like a break, but with NCAA weather rules, lightning within 8 miles, once it gets inside that 8-mile range, stops the ball game for safety reasons.
Right, I'm sure both teams would be hoping if we would have a delay that the other team would come back a little less hot on the offensive side of the game.
Kind of cool things off. That may have been a really good time to score 3 runs in the 4th inning. Here's a strike on the outside corner to Prater. Count here evens at a ball and a strike. Prater 0 for 1. She went down on strikes back in the 2nd inning. 9-8 with a 2.94 ERA for Baldwin here on the year. There was kind of a half swing. Throw to first. Clem able to dive back in. But Prater just kind of stabbing at the softball there at the plate.
And good heads-up play by Morgan Harris right there behind the plate to try to pick off Clem at first.
1-2 pitch, low and away, 2-2. With all the success of Corey Jennings last night, after the game, she had her entire left arm with ice all over it. How much of it do you think was maybe the strike zone, not what she was used to from yesterday, and how much of it was she just getting tired?
I think early in the game it was really the strike zone, and then as she was having to throw more pitches and try to adjust, I think that's when the fatigue was really starting to set in for her.
Baldwin making her 30th appearance inside the circle, 109 innings of work. Opponents hitting .261 against her. Here's a foul ball at the plate. Prater just getting enough of it to stay alive. Baldwin pitched in the series back in late March. Took one of the 2 losses. Gave up an unearned run and took a loss. How about that?
That's a tough way to lose a game.
Here's a slap to the left side. Usselton with a nice athletic play. One gone.
Great play by Usselton. Looked a little bit out of control fielding that ground ball. Was really able to set her feet and throw a strike to first base.
Get another look at it here. You can see Usselton there ranging to her left and a quick snap throw to first base. One gone. Clem down to second. Top of the lineup, Destiny England back at the plate. Seems like she's been up 4 or 5 times already. This is only her 3rd at bat. Couple of singles, couple of runs scored. Takes a strike here on her first pitch.
With the day that she's having, I'm sure UAB would like for her to have, 6 or 7 at bats.
Boy, a snap throw back to second, and they nearly picked off Clem again. England coming in with a .358 average. High chopper back to the mound. Baldwin has to quickly go to first base. Clem down to third. 2 outs in the inning now. Natalie Irwin stepping to the plate.
Just so impressive, that speed from England. Almost runs out. I mean, throw only beats her by a step, but just ground ball to the pitcher and still almost runs the ball out.
Irwin with a bunt single and run scored back in the 3rd. She takes a strike in at the knees. She came in hitting .336 on the year. UAB 25-30-1, under 500, but winning the West Division here in Conference USA. Outside, ball 1, winning the Western Division thanks in part to Louisiana Tech, blowing a 5-1 lead in their finale at UTEP this past weekend.
Right, and being able to win that Western Division put them into the double elimination bracket today. So I'm sure they're thanking UTEP for sweeping.
Absolutely.
La Tech, yeah.
2-1 here on Irwin. 1 for 2. Annalise Petrie in the on-deck circle. Here's a line shot out into left, right at Keely McGee, who squeezes it and retires the side. Baldwin gets around the hit by pitch. We are off to the 5th, 7-4, Middle Tennessee. Back here at Daughtridge Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, what has turned into a cloudy Thursday afternoon. But we play on. We're going to go until Mother Nature tells us to take a break. We're going to have some changes coming up here. Clem now at are going back to third base. Re-entering here for UAB. Looks like we're going to have a new pitcher as well inside the circle for UAB.
And it looks like Megan Smith coming on right here, coming in to pitch for UAB.
Megan Smith making her 19th appearance, 2-2 with a 3.14 ERA. Third pitcher of the day here for UAB. 3.16 ERA over the course of the year. Pretty good for the Blazers. That's fifth best in Conference USA throughout the regular season. Danny Munoz is going to lead things off and take a strike in at the knees, 0-1. Munoz had a bases clearing double back in the first inning, capping off that 4-run frame. A fly out to left as well. There's a rise ball upstairs, 1-1. It'll be Munoz, Cucci, and McGee. Bottom third of the order here facing Megan Smith. Inside it hit her. We heard the two distinct sounds clipping off of Munoz right as Garcia squeezed it behind the plate.
You could also see Garcia flinch a little when it hit off of her. She knew it hit off of the arm guard, the Evo shield, so she was trying to just to brace for impact at that point.
Kirsten Cucci to the plate. She led off the fourth with a double, ended up scoring one of the 3 go-ahead runs in here from the left side. Change up downstairs. Did she check her swing? She did in time for ball number 1. Cucci 1 for 2, 207 average on the year. Couple of homers, 14 runs driven in. She led the Blue Raiders. Minimal time, but still went 3 for 6 in that series. Birmingham back March 30th and 31st. Boy, the second I think of Birmingham, I think of Dreamland Barbecue. How can you not? 2-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 3, snap throw to first. And Munoz able to get that right hand back in just in time. Oh, and it's coming up on 6 o'clock, dinner time now. That was a bad time to start talking about Dreamland. 3-0 coming up from Smith to Cucci. Inside, it almost hit her. So a couple of free base runners for Middle Tennessee here to open up this 5th inning. We'll bring the number 9 hitter, Keely McGee, to the plate.
Yeah, UAB is going to need Megan Smith to really zone in right here, especially with Middle Tennessee having that 3-run lead right now.
Activity going to begin out in the UAB bullpen. Claire Blount making her way down there to start loosening up again. She's the one who started this ball game. Gave up 4 unearned runs in the first inning. Gave way to Catchell, and now Smith inside the circle. First pitch to McGee on the corner for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah, great adjustment by Megan Smith to go right at this batter, go right in and find the zone.
See Middle Tennessee, they're fired up in that first base dugout, trying to tack on to this 3-run lead. Showing bunt. Perfect. Right out in front of the plate. Nice job by Garcia to pop up behind the plate to make the play. Another successful sacrifice. A couple of more runners in scoring position for the top of the lineup in Summer Burgess. Burgess 1 for 3, single to left back in the second. In between a couple of ground outs to Irwin at short. Running forward there with the slap attempt, but able to lay off as the first pitch misses upstairs for ball number 1. Burgess and Birdsong, 10 hits combined, 5 each through 2.5 games of this Conference USA tournament. There's a changeup in for a strike. Look how far she was outside of the box on that changeup.
She was, and Summer Burgess knows if she even tries to swing at that ball after she's been fooled by that changeup, she'll be called for being out of the box. So smart decision on her part, and nice pitch by Smith.
Here's a high chopper. It'll get a run in. Petrie to first. It's misplayed. A second run's going to come in. Down to second goes Burgess. Tack on 2 more. It's a 9-4 lead for Middle Tennessee.
Summer Burgess able to use the ground here, and Petrie, coming up, running in and just throw is a little wide for the first baseman to handle.
Another error goes up on the board for UAB. That's their 3rd. Burgess should get an RBI for getting Munoz in. Munoz would have scored regardless on the play. No RBI for Cucci coming around. That because of the error. Now Precious Birdsong to the plate. 10 hits for Middle Tennessee here as we play with 1 out in this 5th inning. Burgess already has a hit. Trying to bunt her way on there and comes up empty for strike 1.
And right, with UAB's defense being a little shaky right now, Precious Birdsong looking to sneak in that bunt, trying to get them to make another mistake.
Pitch there, just missed. It's 1-1. Burgess going to get credit with an infield single, an RBI. The error, rightly so, charged to Rachel Rogers there at first base. Somewhat tough on a bang-bang play, but a good enough throw that she probably should have handled. Here's a slap back up the middle. Birdsong is aboard once again. 3rd time in 4 trips to the plate. That's her 2nd hit. Runners are at the corners once again.
Just great execution by Burgess and Birdsong for Middle Tennessee. Really did their jobs, got those runs in, and keeping the inning going.
Middle Tennessee trying to tack on to their 9-4 lead and got the heart of the lineup coming up. Kristen Usselton stepping back in. Runner goes, snap throw to 3rd, nothing going on. 2nd stolen base of the day for Birdsong. And now a couple of more runners in scoring position.
And that was a smart play by UAB. They knew that, Precious Birdsong runs very well, tried to get the pick off at 3rd, but Burgess just really keyed into what they were doing and was able to be on 3rd.
Out in front of the changeup, just foul down the 3rd baseline. Awfully tough to start your motion, then you see the changeup. Oh, no, no, no.
Definitely,
Usselton got away with one, yeah. That changeup still, if you're expecting it, I still want to say it looks easy to hit, but no, it's absolutely far away from that.
Right, someone can tell you it's coming. It still doesn't make it easy.
Nice play by Smith inside the circle. Usselton went down and got a softball that was nearly at the base of her feet. And just as she grounds out, I hope I'm wrong, but I thought I saw a flash of lightning off in the distance. Within the 8-mile radius, that's what we're trying to avoid. And
there's
now,
the thunder.
Yeah, now I confirm what I saw, unfortunately. Here's a fly ball out into deep center. Destiny England back towards the track, makes the catch to retire the side. 2 more runs are tacked on here for Middle Tennessee in the 5th. They lead at 9-4. You're watching the CUSA softball tournament on BN Sports. Back here at Sue M. Daughtridge Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, 9-4 Middle Tennessee as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Sean Fox here alongside Haley Pace. Congratulations to you for being named to the All-Conference here in Conference USA.
Thank you, Sean. Big honor.
You're an offensive-minded person. You got to like a game like this, don't you?
Oh,
if you're on the right side of it.
Oh, yeah, definitely as a hitter, especially having all of your, not just one person, obviously, with 11 and 5 hits respectively, but just to see both of these teams really come out swinging, really a great game.
Bottom of the 5th coming up. I see Conference USA officials meeting with our facility folks here in Charlotte, with the lightning off in the distance and the rumbles of thunder. Again, no matter what happens, if this game does stop at some point, it will very likely be resumed obviously later today, tonight perhaps, even tomorrow. Would not be cut short to 5 innings with it being a conference tournament. Annalise Petrie going to lead things off, goes after the first pitch. That's a fair ball inside the bag. Petrie rounding first and wisely throws on the brakes. Great job by McGee in left field to get that ball back in quickly. But it's a leadoff single, and the Blazers are going to try and start a little 5th inning rally of their own.
Yeah, great piece of hitting right down the line there. Petrie just going up there, being aggressive, and really getting the offense started back for UAB after not scoring in the 4th.
Rachel Rogers to the plate, takes a strike, 0-1. RBI single for her back in the 1st. RBI with her sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd. Some miscommunication and a play at the plate. Here's a changeup in for a strike. Good pitch by Amber Baldwin.
Yeah, nice pitch. Like you said, nice pitch by Baldwin. Something she's going to want to use and maybe be able to work a little bit further off the zone, making it even more effective with 2 strikes.
0-2 pitch. There's the changeup, a little comebacker to the mound. Baldwin will go to second, and it's misplayed. Everybody's safe. More miscommunication between Smith and Burgess, the middle infielders. Baldwin's throw in the dirt certainly didn't help out either one of them, but the first 2 are aboard for the Blazers. Well, that play right there, typically on a ball back to the circle, shortstop has the better angle coming across to take that throw.
Definitely. Shortstop's usually your traditional cover, and I would think with a 5-run lead, Baldwin would just be content with getting the out at first, maybe would want that play back and just go to first.
Now UAB will send Claire Blount to the plate, trying to chip into a 5-run deficit. Middle Tennessee with some trouble here in the defensive half of this 5th inning. Blount goes after the first pitch. Chopper to short. No tag. Throw to third base. Not in time. A bang-bang play at third base. A little collision between Usselton and Rogers. Time called. Jeff Breeden coming out to have a chat with third base umpire Mike Hensley. Coach Breeden disagreeing with the call.
And I think Sarah Burgess, obviously, she knew that she missed the tag, and so then needed to throw it to third base. But I'm interested that that Usselton, I thought, had stepped on the bag at that point or maybe tagged her.
And there was an added facet to it of Petrie kind of stepping off the bag. There was a second collision. I wonder if Mike Hensley thought maybe Usselton kind of bumped her off the bag. Let's see if we can get a look at it here on replay. Her foot's in, but then she comes off the bag.
Yeah. I think that's the
and
right
then
call.
You saw right there at the end of the replay, Mike Hensley point down to third base.
Definitely an interesting play for sure.
I was going to say, it's been a crazy game, so the crazy antics on the field continuing here. Bases loaded now, nobody out. Sarah Crawford due up. Back-to-back fielders' choices. No outs recorded. That's rare to see as well.
I think this would be a good time for a Middle Tennessee timeout just to try to get everyone focused back in.
Raina Cooper going to come over here and run at first base for Claire Blount. First pitch swinging. It's popped up on the infield. Infield fly rule in effect. Crawford automatically out. That's a big first out for Baldwin and the Middle Tennessee defense.
Yeah, especially being Sarah Crawford had a double in the second inning. That was a big out right there for Baldwin.
Here comes Molly Garcia, 0 for 2. Couple of ground outs to the left side of the infield. First pitch low and away, ball number 1. And I imagine if you're Garcia, you know the bases are loaded, obviously, and at some point you're going to get a pretty good pitch to swing at here from Baldwin.
Right, like you said, there's nowhere to put her on the bases. So even just a ball deep enough to the outfield just to score a run at this point, something to chip away at that 5-run lead that Middle Tennessee has at this point.
6 hits for UAB in this ball game, just 1 in the inning so far. 1-0 here from Baldwin. There's a changeup. Pretty pitch right there, right around the knees. 1-1. Garcia 4 for 10 in the March series. Takes her second straight strike. That's in. Now a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, definitely a pitch right there. I would think Garcia would have liked to attack with bases loaded.
Downstairs, swung on and missed. That's a big strikeout for Baldwin. 2 gone. And all of a sudden, this has turned into a pretty big spot in this ball game.
Yeah, huge out right there for Amber Baldwin. Just to get the strikeout, bases loaded. Now you have 2 outs. Probably makes you feel a little more confident. Not too confident, though. Still have to get worry about Ashton Clem in this situation.
Strikeout and a hit by pitch. Outside for ball number 1. We've been back and forth trading punches in this ball game, but a lot of momentum at stake right here. That's a strike at the knees. Another good pitch. 1-1. Awfully tough to do something when it's around the knees and on the outside part of the plate.
Definitely not a power alley for any hitter, but looking to see if Clem can make something happen here with 2 outs.
Here's the 1-1. Here's that changeup in for strike 2. Now Baldwin, after a single, fielder's choice, and fielder's choice to load the bases. She is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Here's a ground ball to short, a flip to second, and that will do it as Baldwin does indeed get out of the jam. No runs, a hit. 3 runners left on base. Middle Tennessee still leads it 9-4. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, top of the 6th inning we go. 9 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Middle Tennessee. 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Blazers. Each team leaving 7 runners on the base path so far here in this ball game. Winner moves on to face FAU at noon tomorrow after the Owls, the top-seeded Owls, rallied for 7 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning to knock off Louisiana Tech. Loser of this game still alive, but then they will play for their tournament live tomorrow against the Lady Texters. Winner's bracket game at noon. Loser's bracket contest to follow at 2:30.
And I think whichever team matches up with FAU will be very interesting. FAU came out to a very slow offensive start, very opposite from these two teams tonight.
And Middle Tennessee, with this 9-4 lead, the 2 games yesterday, we said it at the top of the broadcast, they're the hottest team right now in this tournament. And a lot of times in tournament play, especially at the end of the year, not necessarily about the best team all year. It's about the hottest, and Middle Tennessee is certainly the hottest.
Right.
Lexi Cushing stands in, takes a strike. First pitch from Bailey Barnes, the new pitcher here for UAB. 4th pitcher for the Blazers. Breaking ball off speed there downstairs. Barnes coming in for just the 9th time this season. Garcia going out to have a chat with her. 2-2 with a 5.40 ERA. 23 1/3 innings pitched. 29 runs, 35 hits in those 23 plus. Opponents hitting .333. UAB has used all 4 pitchers that have appeared in games this season here today, as that pitch misses downstairs to Cushing for ball 2. Walk and run score in the 1st, strikeout in the 3rd, RBI with her ground out in the 4th, lines one back up the middle. Now adding her first hit to the day's resume. Leadoff man aboard, Claire Smith to the plate.
A nice piece of hitting by Cushing. Barnes came in the zone and she really just attacked that pitch, drove it right back up the middle.
Smith stepping in. She had an RBI single and run scored that got the 4-run first inning going. Reached on an error and then ended the 4th with a fielder's choice to short. First pitch here, upstairs for ball number 1. A dozen hits now for Middle Tennessee. Blowing away there quickly, 2-0.
It looks like Barnes, after that hit by Lexi Cushing, she's really trying to work more of those corners now, maybe being a little more careful after probably leaving that pitch to Cushing just a little too much over the plate.
Showing bunt and pulling back to take a strike. We talked about it earlier. She got going in the front of the box and right there on the borderline of being outside the box and making contact at the same time. Two-one upstairs, 3-1. Everyone in the starting lineup for UAB now has at least 1 hit. Cushing rounding it out here to start the 6th inning. There's a strike on the outside corner. Full count now, 3-2. Middle Tennessee hitting .471 with runners on. They're 8 for 17 in this spot. There's a changeup called strike 3 on the outside corner. Good pitch and an even better spot right there from Bailey Barnes. Danny Munoz to the plate. Munoz with that 3-run double back in the 1st, hit by a pitch and scored, leading off the 5th just an inning ago. Here's a ground ball foul off to the left. Middle Tennessee, being the 6th seed, has been the visitor in all 3 of their games and will continue to be throughout the tournament. But that not phasing them at all whatsoever.
Not a bit. I think they've enjoyed being the visitor, getting able to start that offense out early, especially the 4 runs they put up in the top of the 1st this game.
There's a strike. Quickly, 2 strikes here on Munoz. Entered the day with a .278 average, 4 homers and 14 RBI. Low and away, 1-2. Well, now on the other side, the Blazers offense down to their final 6 outs. Winning that West Division by a half game to avoid the single elimination part yesterday. Change up upstairs and a snap throw to first with Cushing able to get back in standing.
I think Garcia had made the decision before that ball even came in that she was going to fire back at Cushing just to keep her with an honest lead over there. But Cushing not really a stolen base threat, didn't have a huge lead off of first.
3-1, left side, deep in the hole, it's short. Irwin goes to second for 1. Relay throw to first, not in time. Fielder's choice, the lead runner Cushing out 6-4 on the play. 2 gone. Inning continues now for Kirsten Cucci. Cucci with a double and run scored to lead off the 4th. Walked and scored on an error back in the 5th. 3 UAB errors in this ball game. Time called here. Quick little chat there in the circle. Ashton Clem coming over from third base to chat with Barnes. First pitch, hammer to right, going back is Crawford. She looks up, it's gone. A 2-run homer to right by Cucci. It's 11-4, Middle Tennessee. Third home run of the year for the outfielder. Middle Tennessee has opened this one up to a 7-run advantage. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, Cucci just really takes a great swing at this inside pitch. A little too much white, I think, a little too much over the plate there for Barnes. But Cucci, she takes advantage and drives it over the right field wall. Great hit.
And now Middle Tennessee, if they can force another run across, UAB would be down to their final at-bat with the 8-run rule here in college softball. First pitch to McGee is downstairs for ball number 1. Breeze blowing out, but didn't matter there with Cucci's home run. That one's up and away, 2-0. We have seen some shots here leave the yard over the first couple of days of this 2018 Conference USA tournament. Here's a ground ball to the right side. Petrie up with it, on to first in time. 2 retire the side, but tack on 2 more for the Blue Raiders on the 2-run blast by Kirsten Cucci. We're off to the home half, 11-4 Blue Raiders. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, bottom of the 6th coming up. Middle Tennessee 4 in the first, 3 in the 4th, 2 in each of the 5th and 6th innings. They are in control yet again for their 3rd straight game here in Charlotte. They are getting quite comfortable here at Dottridge Stadium. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Caitlin Prater going to lead things off. 9-1-2, part of the lineup as rain begins to fall here in Charlotte. Right now we play on. We do have the tarp here on standby just in case. Amber Baldwin getting back to work. Got out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam back in the 5th inning. First pitch here to Prater is in for a strike, 0-1. I take that back. We have a pinch hitter, Caitlin Sides stepping in. A ball and a strike now on Sides. 208 average on the year, 15 for 72 at the plate. Downstairs, 2-1. Prater 0 for 2 at the plate, so Sides gets a crack at it here in the 6th. Two-one from Baldwin. Perfect pitch right on the outside corner, 2-2. Sides trying to set the table for England and Irwin at the top of the lineup. Outside, ball 3. Full count now, 3-2. And with the rain starting to fall as a pitcher, how much do you think that plays into your grip right now? Granted, not very hard, but it's just going to continue to add up.
Right, and I think it's constantly in the back of your mind. I think even as infielders or outfielders, when you know that rain is there, you might grip the ball a little harder, try to throw it a little differently than you usually would. So I think it's always there in the back of your mind, regardless if the ball is actually wet or not.
Well, how about on the other side if you're at the plate trying to grip that bat?
Definitely, especially after how hot it's been. I can imagine your gloves might be slick, maybe from just being a little sweaty.
Absolutely.
And then now that the rain's coming down, doesn't help.
Payoff pitch, a little liner to short. Burgess squeezes it for out number 1. Top of the lineup, Destiny England to the plate. We're going to try and play through the rain here to start.
This field could always use a little water. So
absolutely,
nothing
with as hard
hurt
as
here.
it's played. Top of the lineup, Destiny England standing in. Swung on and missed way out in front of the changeup there from Baldwin.
I think you saw just England fooled by that changeup a little bit. It's not as slow as like a difference in speed as Jennings was. Baldwin really throws it a lot more similarly to her drop ball.
Here's a shot to right towards the line is Cucci on a full sprint, makes the grab for out number 2. Cucci had a long way to go to haul it in.
Great play by Cucci on the run. Feeling good after that, the home run that she hit on top of the 6th. So just carrying that over defensively.
Absolutely. Probably a little pep in the step there
Definitely.
after the 2-run bomb. Smiles all around right now for Middle Tennessee. Natalie Irwin in from the right side here. 1 for 3 on the day. She takes a first pitch strike. Irwin started the day with a .336 average, 8 homers, 27 RBI. Changeup just missed downstairs.
Yeah, great spot by Baldwin right there. I think just a little low to be called for a strike. I think as a hitter, I'd be a little upset if that was called for a strike.
Funny how on the hitter side you'd be upset, but Baldwin wanted the strike from the circle.
Very different. There's a big difference between a strike and a pitcher's pitch at
Absolutely.
times.
That one much lower for ball number 2. 2-1. Blazers down to their final 4 outs at the plate now. Here's a pop-up first base side. Cushing coming this way. Out of play. Cushing, Smith, and Cucci all sprinting towards this corner. A little nervous over here at the top of our perch.
A little nerve-wracking.
But I've never seen 3 players chase a foul ball and come away with smiles afterwards. I guess that's what an 11-4 lead will do for you.
Exactly.
Certainly having some fun if you're in a blue uniform. 2-2 popped up, this one further out of play.
Yeah, Irwin's doing a great job just to stay alive here on those change-ups. She seems to be waiting back well, just really just cutting right under the ball.
Another 2-2 coming up from Baldwin to Irwin. Fouled off. Natalie got just enough here to stay alive once again at 2-2.
She did, and the umpire's actually going to check the ball to see if it cut it any. It looks like it just really barely tapped off of the end of her bat there.
Well, here's the difference, a big difference in this ball game. We talked about Middle Tennessee hitting .450. They're 9 for 20 with runners on. UAB just 2 for 20 in that same category. Upstairs here, ball 3.
Yeah, you definitely have to capitalize when you have runners on base and really execute, get those runners in. That's the name of the game.
Blazers, not to help matters, just 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. Payoff pitch. Fouled just down that third base line. Irwin with a bid for extra bases, but a hair too soon pulling the trigger. Middle Tennessee 13 for 30 overall at the plate. That's a .433 average on the day with their 13 hits. UAB 6 for 26 here at .231. That's a huge difference.
That is a really big difference.
Popped up, foul territory behind the plate. Harris is there to squeeze it and retire the side. A 1-2-3 frame for Baldwin inside the circle. We're off to the 7th. All Middle Tennessee, 11-4 here in Charlotte. Back at Daughtridge Stadium here in Charlotte, North Carolina, we go to the top of the 7th. Caitlin Side stays in the ballgame for UAB defensively, now out in left field. Middle Tennessee, 11 runs on 13 hits. They had the 2 solid pitching performances yesterday from lefty Corey Jennings. And now the offense has come out full force here this afternoon. And they are just an inning away from getting into the winner's bracket final with FAU tomorrow. Top of the lineup, Summer Burgess leads it off. It's a fair ball. Throw to first in time. 1 pitch, 1 out. That was close. Burgess almost outside of the box when she made contact. I thought that was awfully close.
Yeah, definitely a close call there. I would have thought she might have been a little bit far out of the box as well.
Precious Birdsong to the plate. She's going to bunt. Nice diving catch by Garcia behind the plate. That's 2 back-to-back plays by Garcia for another quick second out.
A beautiful effort by Garcia right there. She knows if that ball gets down, or Precious Birdsong, has the speed, probably able to run that bunt out.
Usselton to the plate. Inside for ball number 1. Rain continuing here in Charlotte. 4 more outs to go. Usselton with a hit. 1 for 3 on the day. That pitch misses. 2-0. Usselton with a 292 average, couple of homers, 17 RBI on the year coming in. RBI with her bunt single back in the 4th. Here's a strike, outer third, right around the knees, 2-1.
Yeah, nice strike, nice pitch right there by Barnes, and I think smart take right there by Usselton. That's not really a pitch that she's looking to drive, and count 2-0 at that point.
2-1, down and in. Matter of fact, it hit her. Usselton down to first base on the hit by pitch. Inning continues now for Morgan Harris. Harris 1 for 3, infield single and run scored back in the 1st. Popped it up to Rogers at first in the 3rd. Hit by a pitch and a fly out as she comes to the plate for the 5th time here this afternoon. First pitch changeup is in for a strike, 0-1. Usselton at first after the 2-out hit by pitch. That one just missing. Count here at a ball and a strike. Well, just as the rain continues to fall, looks like the sun's trying to peek its way out. Getting a little brighter here at Dottridge Stadium, trying to help us get to the finish line. 1-1, smoke to third. Clem making a nice play to end the inning and send us to the bottom of the 7th. UAB down to their final 3 outs. A lot of work to do. They're down 7 to Middle Tennessee. Back at Dottridge Stadium, we go to the bottom of the 7th. Blazers down to their final 3 outs. 11-4 our score. Middle Tennessee jumped on the board with 4 in the 1st. UAB battled back to tie it up. A run in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd to get us to 4-4. But from the 4th inning on, it's been all Middle Tennessee. 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th to get us where we are. Over the final 3 innings, just 1 hit for UAB. That was a leadoff single by Annalise Petrie. She is the one that's going to lead it off here in the 7th. And crazy things have happened here at Dottridge Stadium already today. We saw FAU score 7 runs in the 6th inning earlier this afternoon. So it can certainly be done. But Amber Baldwin has been impressive in the circle. 3 innings in relief of Jennings. Nothing but the 1 hit and 1 strikeout as Petrie stands in, ready to lead things off. Petrie 1 for 3, goes after the first pitch and hammers it deep to left. That's a good start. It's a solo home run, 11-5. For Petrie, her 9th home run of the year. Another no-doubter we've seen hit in this Conference USA tournament.
And here we can see just really this ball's right over the heart of the plate. Takes a nice healthy cut, and you just see it fly right over the left field fence. Nothing better than a home run.
Over top of the batting cages, out behind that left field fence. And at the very least for UAB, if you can't come back, tie it up, take the lead, walk off perhaps, try to do something on offense to build some momentum and get some positive feelings going into tomorrow's action. First pitch to Rachel Rogers is upstairs for ball number 1. anything to give your team, your dugout, some good vibes despite the 11-5 scoreboard right now.
Definitely, especially since they hadn't scored before that home run since the third inning. So even putting up one on the board right there.
Here's a shot fair down the right field line. Extra bases for Rogers. She's on her way to second. Big turn around second. Throws the brakes on. Cutoff throw coming to third base. But Rogers is aboard. UAB not going to go quietly. Here comes Claire Blount to the plate. Get a shot here.
Looks like Rogers just takes that outside pitch just right back where it came from, just down the right field line. Looking for the triple at first and realizes she needs to go back to second, but a great piece of hitting right there by Rogers.
A wise decision, too, to throw on the brakes there at second base. Here's Blount taking the first pitch downstairs, a throw back to second, just in case, but Rogers getting back in standing. Blount 0 for 3, does have an RBI with her ground out back in the third. That 3-run inning tied us up at 4. Here's a chopper to the right side. Smith, nice play. Couple of steps back to her left. That's all that's important right now for Middle Tennessee on defense. Get your 3 outs. Rogers down to third. Sarah Crawford to the plate.
Yeah, that was big for Middle Tennessee to get that out right there, especially after 2 hits. Both of those being for extra bases, so just being able to get the ground out with a 6-run lead, big for Middle Tennessee.
Crawford 1 for 3 with a double on the day. Takes a strike there on the changeup. Her RBI came in the third. UAB took advantage of a dropped bunt pop-up. There's a swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2. That's a good pitch there by Baldwin, way downstairs.
It looked like a drop ball just right off the plane. Crawford saw it early, and then it just continued to drop through the zone.
0-2. That went a little too far down.
Goes for it again. I like the idea. They're just a little too far.
Baldwin in line for the win. Despite the home run by Petrie here in this inning, she has been fantastic in relief of Jennings. Here's a changeup foul back. You can see how far out in front Crawford was there again.
Just able to get a piece of it. And like you said, we gave Jennings a lot of credit for her performances yesterday. I think Baldwin has came in and done a really fantastic for Middle Tennessee today.
Absolutely. Throwing a 2-hit shutout in game 1, then a no-hitter in game 2. Here's a 1-2 cue shot right to first. Bobbled by Cushing. Flip to first. Not in time. It gets away. Down to second goes Crawford. Another run comes in. It's an 11-6 ball game. Crawford at second now for Garcia. Tough play there for Cushing. Right off the end of the bat, softball is actually being tossed out of play. Just a cue shot right off the end of the stick there. So much side spin.
Yeah, just an unreal amount of spin on that ball. Cushing just not able to really pick it up cleanly, and then just tosses it a little too far for Smith to handle.
Nevertheless, it will be an error on Crawford. Each team now with 3 errors aside.
Lots of big numbers on the scoreboard today in each column, runs, hits, and errors.
Yeah, kidding. We have combined for 17 runs, 21 hits, and 6 errors. Rachel Owens going to come off the bench and run down at second base for Crawford.
It's made for an interesting game, that is for sure.
Going back to that thought with Jennings, after so much success yesterday, just 2 hits over her 14 innings, she went the first 3 innings, gave up 4 runs, but only 1 of them earned, thanks in part to the 3 errors. 5 hits, couple of strikeouts. Not all that bad of an outing. Perhaps running out of gas after throwing the 14 innings yesterday.
Right, definitely. I think you could just start to see the fatigue that she had. And I think a good decision on Middle Tennessee's part to put Baldwin in. She's really gotten the job done. Really positive for Middle Tennessee, especially moving on in this tournament. Just a great job.
Absolutely. And that goes to show you what the coaches think of Amber Baldwin in the circle. She has absolutely stepped up here this afternoon. The offense has also stepped up to kind of bail Jennings out of that early trouble.
They have, and I think it also makes you feel more confident as a team, knowing that you're not just relying on one pitcher, that you have multiple arms that can come in and get the job done.
Molly Garcia stands in. First pitch is in the dirt. Down to third goes Owens. She's now 60 feet away. One out in the inning. UAB trying to make some noise in this 7th inning. More props to Baldwin for being a freshman as well, making her first ever conference tournament appearance here this afternoon. Garcia 0 for 3 at the plate today. A couple of ground outs, one to short, one to third, and went down swinging on strikes against Baldwin back in the 5th. That one's in the dirt.
Yeah, Baldwin really making Morgan Harris work in this. I bet I think the pitch before just really got off of her arm. But, Harris is tough. She's back there for a reason. And so just really looking to get back in the zone here for Baldwin.
2-0 to Garcia. Here's a grounder over to short, fielded cleanly by Burgess. On to first in time. Owens staying put at third base. But most importantly for Middle Tennessee, they are 1 out away. Coach Breeden may not be too happy with the couple of runs given up here in this 7th inning. But when you've got 11 on the board yourself and you've got 7 to play with, that's good for your offense and good for Baldwin just in case she does slip up a little bit.
It's always nice to have that little bit of, those insurance runs up there. You never want to give up more runs in the bottom of the 7th, but at least you had a large margin of a lead, and that's going into this inning.
First pitch to Ashton Clem downstairs for ball number 1. She's 0 for 2. She was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. She led off that inning, was over at third base when the inning came to an end. Here's a strike. 1-1. Told you about the struggles for the Blazers. Just 2 for 23 with runners on here in this ball game. Just 1 for 17 with them in scoring position. 1-1. Changeup is strike 2. Middle Tennessee 1 strike away from a get-together with FAU tomorrow at noon. First of 3 games on the day here at Daughtridge Stadium. Winner of that noon game goes straight to the championship here on Saturday. 1-2. Popped up first base side. Cushing there. Makes the catch, and this ball game is over. The Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders continue to play very, very well. They are by far the hottest team in this tournament. They take an 11-6 victory to indeed set up that appointment with FAU in what will be a great ball game. Louisiana Tech will now face UAB tomorrow at 2:30. That game will follow the winner's bracket game, and that is a winner-go-home situation for both the Lady Techsters and Blazers, 2 of the top 4 seeds. But the 6-seeded Blue Raiders continuing to roll. What another performance. We talked about it. Corey Jennings, maybe not up to herself here, but the offense bailed her out big time.
Definitely. Great job by Amber Baldwin to come in here, especially like we mentioned, her being a freshman. Great work.
11 runs, 13 hits, 3 errors, 8 runners left on base for Middle Tennessee. UAB with 6 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 8 runners left on themselves. The Blue Raiders are pumped up as they head down the right field line. Maddie Morris going to catch up here with head coach Jeff Breeden in just a second. When we talked to him back in the 4th inning, his Blue Raiders just grabbed a 7-4 lead, and at the time we didn't think 7 would be enough. But let's go down and find out from the coach himself. Maddie, take it away.
Coach, another great victory for your Lady Raiders. You guys got off to a bang, but then they kind of came back, tied the game up. What do you have to say about how your girls kept their composure?
Well, I thought we had good tenacity about it. I think we kept staying with our plan of attack offensively and just methodically going and scoring, and it worked out in our favor.
Talking about that offense, your guys' first game, 4 hits. Last night, 10 hits. Tonight, 13 hits, 11 runs. What do you have to say about how your guys' batting is?
I just hope that it continues on for the next couple of days. I mean, we're stroking pretty good right now, so hopefully it continues.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maddie. What a performance by Middle Tennessee. Amber Baldwin getting the job done in relief. The offense pounding out 13 hits in the victory. Middle Tennessee has a date with top-seeded FAU tomorrow at 12 noon to kick off Day 3 of the Conference USA Championships here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Once again, the final score, Middle Tennessee 11, UAB 6. Big day of action. Tomorrow's double elimination play continues here in Charlotte. For Haley Pace, Sean Fox saying so long from Doddridge Stadium. Thanks for watching the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championships on BN Sports.